Hello, it is May the 1st. What the fuck? The music just scared the shit out of me. It's going to be a wild show. You guys can't hear it, but it scared me. All right? Just like the two of you are scaring me. You know why? Because you motherfuckers sit here week in, week out, talking about red carpet this, and then you're blowing up my DMs right before we start talking about a red carpet.
Whoa.
We were talking about furries.
Not the red carpet, furries, okay?
I'm looking at a bunch of DMs from a red carpet that do feature
the Met Gala, but we don't care about the Met Gala. We care about the fact that there's a furry.
Yeah, you are looking at a bunch of furry pictures.
Maybe
specifically.
So. Wait,
shockingly good furry pictures. Like
shockingly good. Like
eyes to the soul furry pictures.
What is that? What is eyes to the soul?
Because it's so soft. It just looks so soft.
It's just the eyes. Look at those eyes. Like when you see all the photos,
it looks so soft. I don't know if it's soft, but it looks so soft. Like it looks. I want to.
Is that supposed to be?
I found out Jared Leto was inside, and then I wasn't. I didn't want to touch it as much, you know. But
I mean,
I'm just
Jared Leto of the popular band 30 Seconds to Mars,
of the popular cult,
of the cult
related to 30 Seconds to Mars. Yes, that one.
Wait, he's that's
ever since the cult thing. I don't think I want to touch him in the first.
Oh yes, that man has a cult.
Want to touch him Yes, there's a cult. I read about it.
Oh, I just like his music. I didn't know he had a cult.
Yep. There's a cult.
Wait, is that supposed to be
dressed in all white?
In this tweet, you sent me, you said it's Carl's cat Choupette. Are you talking about the fashion dude, Carl?
Karl Lagerfeld.
That's exactly.
Karl Lagerfeld's a piece of shit. Did you know that?
Well, this entire Met Gala is. Yeah, the Met Gala is
I've found that
inspired
it doesn't matter if you're a piece of shit if you make really pretty clothes. Like if you are responsible for Chanel being a multi-million-dollar company, then you can kind of say whatever you want. Like ugly people shouldn't exist, which are things Carl has said. You can say that as long as you Didn't he
say like overweight people shouldn't be on the runway, and like he was also pretty against like gay marriage while also I think being a gay man himself.
Have you heard anything that has been said in the model community? Like the fashion community is just atrocious. Yeah,
it's absolutely
there's still like that. It's funny because I've noticed on TikTok there's a lot of reverence for like 90s era of fashion.
No.
And if you go look at any of these people, it's all bad. There's like so much love for all of these models, and like one of them, Kate Moss, was famous for saying nothing tastes as good as being skinny feels. But like it's like they've divorced them from all that, and they just post like runway clips with like house music and are like, we used to be a proper society. And I'm like, are they anorexic? But
yeah,
okay.
I don't. They're leaving out the part that in the 90s, it was like you want to get in that runway, you better do some coke real quick. Like that was.
I've read Karl Lagerfeld's book because he is famous for having lost a shit ton of weight, and I read his book. I think I like checked it out from a library in college just because I was like morbidly curious. It is the most unhinged thing you will ever read in your life. It's literally like you eat broth once a day for a month, and then you slowly introduce a fruit every day for 2 months. And it's basically like you never eat carbs ever, and you just basically starve yourself for 6 months, and then you can be skinny like Karl Lagerfeld. And I was like,
Yeah, person's crazy. Person's crazy. Anyways, taking a swerve from that, from one red carpet to another.
God damn it.
Time out, though. Which is more interesting? The cat carpet or whatever the hell this carpet's about to be?
I didn't watch the
Were
red
there
carpet last
furries?
week. I didn't watch it. I don't know
Were
what
there
happened.
furries?
I don't know. I don't know anything that happened. I was told that there was a Star Wars celebration type setup at the red carpet where like they're in the middle and they have like fans around them and then people would walk up for like the interview and then walk out. But I didn't see any of the red carpet. I was playing the Star Wars and so I didn't tune in.
Yo, that game's fire.
Yeah, the Star Wars is pretty good. So I don't really have anything to report back from the Guardians of the Galaxy red carpet that happened last week. However, reviews are out. They've been out.
Reviews are out.
They're out there.
I've seen a mix.
Yeah, 118 reviews right now exist on Rotten Tomatoes, and we're currently sitting at a 77%.
What's crazy is all the articles about it, you can tell everyone kind of has like, especially in media at the moment, like a slant against Marvel.
Absolutely.
Because I hadn't seen any reviews. I hadn't looked at all. I saw a timeline today that was about Marvel reviews for this movie.
Yeah.
All the reviews for Guardians 3 were like, the worst of the trilogy. Another one of the Marvel flops. And I was like, okay, so I click on it, and it was just talking about the like aggregate score on Rotten Tomatoes and how they're like, at first, all the reviews were great, and now they're trickling in, and it looks like it's gonna be the worst one of the three. And I was like, damn, how bad is this? And then it was 77, and I was like,
yeah.
All right. I mean, compared to like, I don't know if that's bad. That's just people have opinions.
It seems like, I don't know. It's a little all over the place review wise. It's definitely the worst reviewed Guardians film so far. If that means anything,
Sure.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head though when you said that Marvel right now and I think for kind of all of Phase 4, it's the easy thing to hate, right? Like people got Marvel fatigue, so to speak.
Yeah, and like Bronze was saying, if you look at the reviews, some of the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes were like, this movie kicks ass. It's so good. And some of them were like, it's over bloated and it goes on too long. And some of them are like, animals get hurt, F this movie. And some of them are like,
I didn't
they're
see
all
those.
over the place. Yeah, so many animals get hurt, which now I'm like, damn, what happens in this movie?
Yeah.
But it seems to be all over the place.
Rocket,
but it's nitpicky
story,
too, which I'm like,
probably see animals get hurt because that's like what Rocket's whole deal is.
Yeah,
Right.
I heard it was the reviews that I saw said it was very sad. And like if you are an animal lover, that the movie is going to be pretty hard. So that's one take I saw. Which I'm very curious like how much they push that. I guess given Rocket's origin, right? Like we kind of know what happened to him, so that could be kind of grim, depending on how intense they go with those scenes. But in terms of just like tone and feel of the movie and all that, a lot of people are saying that they went too far with the quips, which is that's kind of a Marvel thing and kind of a Guardians thing. I think Guardians probably is responsible for a lot of that. There's like a before and after with Guardians 1 within the Marvel cinematic universe and how they handle comedy. And quips are kind of, that's what you expect from the Guardians of the Galaxy. You want the one-liners and you want some of them to hit. Not all of them usually do, but you want most of them to hit. And so there's a lot of that. A lot of people saying it was a little bit long. A lot of people saying the typical, like it tries to do too much. I did see one review, which I'm trying to find, that said it was nice because they weren't trying to, and this hits on what Jesse has been saying the past 2 weeks, since we kind of came back from our little break. It's the idea that they're not trying to push anything else into the universe. They're trying to just like wrap up the Guardians, and that's it.
I mean, I like that concept. I don't know that's true if you include Adam Warlock. You know what I mean? It's very clear they're trying to add something.
Yeah. A lot of people said he was maybe some of the worst parts of the film too.
That's because I have to believe he's in it for like 12 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm convinced that a lot of the bloat that people are talking about is one of those from on high situations where they have stuff they must mandate be put in so it can flow with other movies. And I firmly believe that's part of it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited for it though. Still, I love going to see these films. One way or the other, I'll be seeing it. We'll be talking about it next week. Did you guys already buy your tickets? If not, you might. I feel like the tickets are hard to come by now.
I'll get tickets. I'm not stressed. I got plenty of movie theaters around. The thing I'm curious about is this is the third movie. I want to know. I want to look this up, but it'd probably take up my entire night. What trilogy movie, the third movie, is better than the previous two? And off the top of my head, I can think of like.
Are you talking about?
Yeah, I was gonna say Lord of the Rings. Clearly, Return of the King is the best one. The best. I don't give a shit. It's amazing. Maybe Thor Ragnarok, but that's because the other two were like
it was such
not
a
great.
tone shift.
But then it became a quadrilogy, whatever the hell that is. So now it's no longer a trilogy, so it doesn't matter anymore. But like I don't know. Like it's hard to think of them.
I mean, it depends what you're saying. Are you saying critically or just like generally thought of?
I'm saying in general, very rarely is the third movie of a trilogy considered better than the two that came before it. Like, I happen to like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade more than Temple of Doom, but I like Raiders of the Lost Ark more. I think that's a better movie. Right? So
yeah, Raiders is probably the best one, yeah.
So, and it's that kind of thing where it's like, so that means that, and when you think about it, you're like, yeah, and it's hard to keep up momentum. So this movie having a 77 to me, I'm still not, like, I'm not Ant-Man stressed. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, this can still be super fun.
Yeah.
Instead of Ant-Man with like zany comedy, wacky antics, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. And I mean, the one thing I have seen in pretty much every review, including the negatives, is that it's got that James Gunn heart, right? Like the film does convey emotion, whether you like it or not. It is a emotional farewell to those characters, and there are things that happen in the film that provoke a emotional response, which I think is kind of what I expected from this. And if that happens, then that's kind of all I'm looking for in this, right? Like I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy in general. Not that I'm not a fan of them, but give me an end to their story and an end to those characters, and I'm happy. Like I'm pretty easy to please there. The other thing is we kind of talked about this, and I guess the answer is probably Captain Marvel, but like Guardians introduced so much of like cosmic Marvel that if Captain Marvel is now the centerpiece for like any cosmic stuff at Marvel, I'm a little worried, right? Because like the Guardians handled it so well, where everything was just like, sure, that's a whatever so-and-so creature type deal. And it was so matter of fact and plain. I hope, I don't know if Captain Marvel can do that and have that same kind of almost irreverence for cosmic Marvel, where everything is just, it exists rather than making a big deal about it. I guess we'll just have to see what happens with the future and where they go.
Yeah. I don't know if you have a take on this, Bronze, but like, absolutely. I'm convinced that the galactic version of the MCU is floundering. Eternals didn't sell it.
Eternals,
Captain Marvel,
you're 100% right, yeah.
Yeah, Captain Marvel didn't land. And all of those were clearly going to be, they were going to expand the galactic version of Marvel. And so far, every single attempt they've tried, except for Guardians, has been kind of like, lame is like a mean word, but it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
I think they thought they were going to make more Guardians movies than what they were going to make. Because they reference a lot of stuff. Yeah. And then they never followed up on it. Like, even with Nova, like referencing like
right.
Nova Corps. they reference like a lot of stuff, but then they take forever to like actually follow up on it or have it be like a major plot point or introduce that character or introduce that, backstory. Like we're on our third movie and we're just now talking about Rocket's backstory. And we never even addressed Drax's. And it's little things like that I'm like, well, I feel like they thought they were going to make like 8 of these based off of the success of the first one and that they were going to have time to delve into all this, and now they're making 3. And I'll never get over the whole Drax thing because I had to really sit with like why the Christmas special upset me. And then it dawned on me of why it did. The entire thing is about family, Mantis's family, Kevin Bacon buying gifts for his family, found family. Drax's family is dead, and it's not even a throwaway line. It's not so much as even like reference. Like he doesn't even have a scene where he cries.
Yeah.
Like his family's fucking dead and he has to watch people give each other gifts on Christmas. And it's not even fucking addressed, bro. They don't even talk about that shit. It's about Mantis, And so it's one of those things where it's like, well, I feel like some of these characters at least could have had spinoffs or but they didn't invest in them because they were like, we'll do it down the line. That's the feeling I get of like, we'll handle this down the line. We'll handle this down the line. And even them dropping like such a big piece of Mantis's backstory in a throwaway Christmas special is like was strange to me. Cause to me, it's like, well, how many people are going to watch it? Like how, like truly how many people are seeking out and watching the Guardians Christmas special, which was clearly earmarked as optional viewing. I did not go in thinking they were going to have major plot. I thought it was going to be like the Star Wars Christmas special, just a joke.
Yeah.
So it being like for them to drop like, oh, here's this really important thing about Mantis in a Christmas special, it feels like they're now rushing to try to close these open circles. One of the tweets related to the movie I saw was actually James Gunn saying that Dave Bautista is the best actor and like one of the most like just wonderful actors he's ever had the pleasure of working with, and like they don't deserve him. It low-key made me mad because I was like, yeah, but look at how you treated the guy. He's like a one-note character in 2+ movies where he kind of just says like kind of one joke. Like I hope y'all did it right in this one. But that's where it becomes like, how much can you possibly wrap up in the last part of it? So I think it's kind of like Mass Effect. Like you're gonna have some fans walking away upset. I don't anticipate that this movie is going to have everyone loving it because odds are, just like Mass Effect, it's really hard to give each character, each plot line, the ending you need in one movie, which is why I liked ME3, but I can also put the ending aside from the rest of the game. Sorry, that's a whole different side topic. But for a lot of people,
I'm literally playing through it right now.
We're not talking about Mass Effect. I'm telling you both, no Mass Effect conversation.
I'm playing through it
the parallel is there in that
Sure,
you have like a massive crew, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of branching storylines. And if there's always going to be that person that if their character doesn't get that beautiful arc, like that movie to them is trash. And I kind of think that's valid though. Because it's like, well, yeah, if the Guardians was always an ensemble movie. One person might watch for Groot, another person might watch for Rocket, and those are their favorite scenes. So when your character gets sidelined or shafted, it kind of destroys the whole movie-going experience,
Sure, yeah. And from what I've seen in terms of discussion around the film, it focuses primarily on Rocket, right? Like it's a story about Rocket and how he came to be. So I don't think Drax is going to get that much screen time. Maybe he does, but I haven't heard anything to the contrary of that. It seems mostly focused on Rocket and how he came to be. It was enough to get Brad. I do know Bradley Cooper showed up at the red carpet.
He did show up.
Yeah. Which is like a rare occurrence, and he also just showed up wearing like a sweater. Like
man after my own heart.
Everyone is like dressed up to the gills, and he's just like, yeah, I'm wearing it. It was a Louis Vuitton sweater, but he's just wearing a sweater. He's just like hanging out, being Bradley
Pretty
Cooper.
sure everything that man owns is expensive, so like that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he's not showing up in a Carhartt or something. That's not.
Yeah. That is true.
I would show up in a Carhartt.
Same, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
I would be like Jason Momoa and show up in like what do you wear, like a tank top or A-frame or a wife beater? I don't know what the politically
muscle
term
shirt
for it is, but
it's muscle shirt these days. That's what it's muscle shirt.
Muscle shirt.
Yeah, because
and just like a white muscle shirt.
that's what my Cal Kestis wears. So I had that discussion like 2 days ago.
Oh, does your Cal Kestis have a mullet?
No, I have not gone into the mullet world, but I am wearing the handlebar mustache and the shaved head.
Hell yeah, that's the one.
With
Mullet,
the
handlebar
shirt.
mustache. He's like,
Yeah.
hey everybody,
Yeah,
welcome to a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, well, Jesse,
You're like, yeah, let's go.
do you have a pistol yet, Jesse? Because it gets even funnier once you do.
I can't wait.
Because he just walking.
Oh yeah, we got the outfit.
You just start shooting.
Oh my
people.
god. All right.
Yeah.
Pilgrim. Yeah.
Anyways, we're seeing it all. Are you guys? I guess I'm seeing it Thursday. I don't know when the two of you have gotten tickets for it yet, or when you plan to go watch it. But
This weekend.
yeah, it. We'll see. I'm very curious. I don't know. I don't have very much expectations going in, and so I think I will be. Usually when that happens, I come away from the film being fine.
Mhm.
I still think Groot looks fucking stupid, and all of the
Like buff Groot.
Yeah, buff Groot, like teenage Groot. I think he looks idiotic, but that's either,
I have to agree. I saw a tweet from Marvel about Groot like through in every single movie appearance, including like other movies. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like Avengers.
Right.
And I was so upset that we were robbed of adult Groot for so many movies.
He was
like,
so
going back
cool.
and seeing them side by side, I was like, that one was the best one.
Look, Baby Groot was fine. Baby Groot was fine too. Anything after Baby Groot sucked. Adult Groot and Baby Groot. Everything else sucks.
So good. And they did it to me because they put them side by side and I saw like what we had. And I was like, we used to be a proper society.
That's exactly right.
We used to have that Groot. And now we have this.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a tiny bit of news in terms of Guardians of the Galaxy news. Zoe Saldana was saying that she hopes, and I guess given the multiverse and blah blah blah, that she doesn't want Gamora to, like, she's done playing Gamora, straight up, she's done, but she doesn't want that character to go away, is what she said, quote unquote. Quote, she's such an impactful character for fans, and especially female fans and young female fans, and so she's hoping that, I guess, it gets recast in the future, which I guess they could do at some point down the line if they want to. I just don't know how, like, I don't know if that's where we're at yet in the MCU. If we're recasting like major characters.
There's plenty of amazing women in Marvel they can use that aren't Gamora. Gamora had a run and like, cool, we'll just use someone else. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree. Bronze, do you have a take on that at all?
I'm kind of split because I saw this is very much in Jesse's wheelhouse. I saw the pictures of George Hamill. Is that his name?
Mark Hamill?
Who did the young No. I think his name is like George Hamilton.
Okay.
And he did the young mocap for Mark Hamill.
Okay.
And if you look
him up, yes. On Star Wars, yeah.
Truly so much. I was like, why didn't he just do it? I was so confused because he embodied the character so well that I was like, why even do the CGI at that point? Like, why'd they deep fake it? Like, he could just, and then they have them like next to each other. They have all these pictures of them together. And I was like, you're telling me that's not just a younger version of Luke Skywalker? So that threw me for a loop so bad. Now I'm like, why not just have a younger person play that character?
Yeah.
He looked truly so like, I'm like, I'm sure we could find somebody that could play that character pretty damn well,
Yeah. I mean,
but I'm not interested in seeing a current timeline of her. I'm more interested in seeing but I've been there for a while where I was talking about that when we watched Agent Carter, where I'm like, why can't we watch something in the past, especially now that we know that that Thanos is an eternal, or whatever they're called.
Deviant, yeah, or whatever it's called. Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
Mm.
I would love to see a much younger version in the past that's maybe still a murderous, like almost like an anti-hero before Gamora becomes like more of a goes on that trajectory of like kind of going against Thanos. I'd be interested in seeing something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not interested in seeing more of this current time storyline because I feel like we've kind of ran it out.
Right. I
I'm
think we're getting
terrified.
the end of it in the third one with her and Peter, right? Like that's probably going to get something will happen with that. But Jesse, what are you terrified of?
I'm just terrified that we're going to do the same thing that Star Wars does. That like, thank God for Jedi Survivor. Within the first 2 hours, you're shown new aliens, new planets. Like
Yeah.
that's the kind of shit we need. And I'm terrified Marvel's going to do the same thing because it's all Disney. The same thing that Star Wars does, which is,
Stick to what's already
in
made.
the grand scheme, it's somehow we're always going to the same place and see the same people. Like you can only go to Tatooine
We're
so many
going
times.
back to nowhere.
And R2 can only show up so many times before you're like, there's so many droids and so many planets. Literally anything else, please.
Yeah.
And when they show up and you get like a weird, cute frog man out of the blue or like a big blue lady, you're like, yes, thank you. And I think the same thing with Marvel is there's so much Marvel and so many characters and years and years and years and years of stories that
they could just pull from.
Yeah, it would blow my mind if they were like, we're trying to do a cosmic story. Let's always keep returning to characters Right? Like, we're not going to go anywhere if we're always constantly going back to, like, that's what, I'm still a little like, are we going to get the same damn X-Men? If we bring back the X-Men, is it always going to be Wolverine and Cyclops and fucking Jean Grey? Is it always going to be that? Or there's so many X-Men.
There's
in fact,
so
a lot
many
of the cool
X-Men
X-Men
now.
Right. And a lot of the cool X-Men, they brutalized in First Class. Just putting that out there.
Oh yeah, they did.
And
yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, even
like,
in the like horror film, which I never watched, has a ton of X-Men in it that they absolutely fucking destroyed.
There's so many cool X-Men, and they definitely need. Yes, shout out to the people in my chat. I would love just to see a live action, real ass Jubilee.
No, we don't need Jubilee.
I would love to see
unless she's Vampire Jubilee, then maybe.
Characters that aren't normal like Gambit would be fun, right? Like all these characters that have been around that are super cool, but also just like the weirder ones.
There's so many like cosmic Marvel things that I've never even heard of that exist.
And ones that aren't jokes. You know what I mean?
Though,
like,
to be honest,
they're played for jokes.
To be honest, the Guardians were kind of that to begin with, right? Like the Guardians weren't popular until the first movie, and then those characters just skyrocketed in popularity. So it could be done, right? It totally be done. Totally can be done. We have the framework for it.
Watch it happen for Spider-Verse. When they start introducing all these new Spider-Men, watch it happen for all the Spider-Man spinoffs from like the 90s that existed. People are going to go find those and be like, who's this guy? What's this thing?
Yeah.
It exists. There's so many good things out there that would I love to see more of. Like, I would love to see young Nebula and Gamora do their thing. I'd love to see their characters interact. But do I prioritize that over like anything new, any world building that's like beyond where we've been? No, I would love to see just, again, the only thread, unless this movie changes that, the only galactic thread we have at the moment is a dude trying to save his girlfriend from a space god.
Well, we have Captain Marvel as well.
Do we?
Yeah. Captain Marvel, and they're in space. They're doing space stuff. And we got Secret Wars coming. Not Secret Wars, but
that's Earth based.
I guess
Captain Marvel is
kind of
power based.
I'm
talking about building the cosmic world, the universe. They haven't done that. They tried and they really gave it an effort, but that's it.
Part of me also thinks, in a lot of ways, if they explore the cosmic in Marvel, and this is a larger conversation, but isn't that just Star Wars?
Oh, I think you're absolutely right.
Like, isn't that just the same fucking thing?
They like, truthfully,
like they're kind of just
smart
the same
money would have
thing.
been to like, I don't know. I understand why it's such a pain in the ass because they have to do galactic, planetary, and street level,
Right.
make them all compelling and fun. And now they're at that place where they're trying to figure it out because they clearly haven't nailed. Like, there was a recipe that, yeah, I don't know. They kind of like caught their own tail, right? It's one of those things where we all sat there and we were so hyped for Endgame and Infinity War, and it was like, wow, that was great. And now it's
what?
like, yeah. And the ones that have been good, the ones that have stood out from the other ones, are the ones where it was kind of just like fan servicey, which is again what Endgame, like, there's potential for a multiverse saga to be awesome. But there's also, as we've seen, potential for it all to just be garbage.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Well, we'll see. Gamora, by the way, we're talking about Gamora a little bit more. In an interview with comicbook.com, James Gunn revealed that she almost got killed off in the second film.
Who? Gamora?
Yeah, so the full quote is, "So things always change and you never know, but Gamora almost died in volume 2. I knew from the beginning Zoe only wanted to play the character for so many years, and she's been very honest in saying that she's done after Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and so I was going to have her die." Gunn thought that she was the one that was going to sacrifice herself, and quote, "Quill was going to learn about himself as opposed to Yondu in the second movie, and I thought different of it." He was eventually talked out of it by Kevin Feige and Lou D'Esposito, and that it didn't work that well. It didn't feel right. Felt much more right to go where we go in that movie. That seemed that that was what was correct for the story. And then he goes on to admit that he was afraid of killing Michael Rooker because he was his friend. So
what I don't understand is then if Zoe wanted out, why they brought her back for Endgame.
Well, no, she wanted out after volume 3. That was always the plan from the get-go, I think, because she was done after the third film. And so...
Okay, well then, wait, so what about killing her in the second movie?
That was just what James wanted to do.
But I'm saying, like, if she was like, I don't want to play this character long, and they did kill her, and it was a great dramatic scene, it's a great scene in Infinity War, why bring her back? Like, that seems silly.
That might have been part of the reason, right? That also might be hindsight. That, like, yeah, of course that would suck to have this giant emotional moment in the second one where Gamora dies, and then 3 films later she's back, right? Like,
I mean, like it's like, I get it. I understand the alternate reality. Like, that's fine. What I think, just like from an actor standpoint, why she would have been like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. Like, you had a good out. You got what you wanted. Like, I guess money works, but like, you know,
well, from the sounds of it, she didn't really have that much of a say because she was Gunn was talked out of it by Kevin and Lou. Seems like,
I'm sure she signed a contract that was like X number. Yeah. I mean, look, woman signed up to do all those avatars and like,
dude, she's the highest earning female of all time.
I believe it.
Or maybe not the highest earning female, but she's been in the 2 highest earning IP, or she has got some crazy stats to her in terms of earnings.
She is like, she works wonder when they throw her in like different face paints and stuff. She kills it. Yeah. Blue, green, it don't matter.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's it for the Guardian stuff. Oh, there's this.
Uh-oh.
If you guys are NASCAR fans, they got a NASCAR car.
I gotta say, there's something weird about all the promo stuff this time around.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like they're not confident because I went to see a different movie at the movie theater and there was 8 different videos about Guardians, and I'm not just talking trailers. It was like,
come
get your special bucket of popcorn with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, that's become a big thing now. Themed popcorn
it was like
is huge all over the place.
Every single promotion before the trailers was just Guardians commercials.
Yeah.
Or like random things like Guardians I don't even remember what it all was because there was so much it like made my brain melt.
They did
Like every single vignette
they do
had
have a
to
lot
do with them, including them talking about like going to the movies is a special time. So make sure you turn off your phone. It was Chris Pratt. I was like,
that was Chris Pratt.
What is happening over there, y'all? What is happening over there? Like
That's
y'all are
funny.
now recording the turn off your phone messages.
Yeah, they did that with D&D.
Another random video where he's like sitting there and or no, Karen Gillian, I think that's her name, Gillan.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sitting there listening to music, and he comes in. Chris Pratt comes in and he says, "Hey, you should turn that up to volume 3."
Oh yeah,
and she's like, "Don't you mean turn it up to 10?" And he's like, "No, I mean volume 3," like to the camera. And this was after 2 other Guardians commercials. So people in the theater were like laughing, but not with him, but like at him. It was like people were just like chuckling because there was like 8 Guardians commercials.
Yeah,
it does. Like,
there's a lot for sure.
It feels almost overkill, but it's Guardians, and Guardians 2 was like this. The difference is, and I can't help but notice it, all the promo stuff this time around, the only person who looks excited to be there is Groot. Everyone else is like
very stoic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, they're the fun ones, right?
Yeah. They've been doing it a while.
What I saw them like do this for was Eternals, where like for Eternals, I remember they even had makeup palettes. Like you went to Ulta or Sephora and they had Eternals makeup. And I was just like, what? Like makeup?
That's because someone sold them on the idea that Eternals was gonna be the movie that women would love.
Yeah. And they're always doing new marketing stuff. That's
why it had the sex scene. Honest to God, that's why it had a sex scene. Because they were like, this is for the ladies. Which is insane.
Yeah.
I did not want to see that girl have sex with that weirdo. I wanted to crawl out of my skin.
And that's the king of the north. That's the king of the north to you,
that
Bronze.
man is unsettling. He's an unsettling man. He gives
it doesn't end well for that
energy.
guy. It does not end well for him. It's fine.
He hasn't had that good of a go, yeah.
You know what's hotter than the sex scene? Him flying into the sun because I did not want to be around him anymore.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, God, what is the popcorn container tie-in? Do you remember, Bronze? Because they did one for Ant-Man as well.
The ammo chest, and Groot is sitting on the other end of it, and the chest opens, and yeah.
They were selling those on eBay.
Groot? Rocket.
Oh, okay, it's Rocket.
It's Rocket, who's like standing on one end, and then it's like a chest that opens.
Yeah. Yeah, they did some stuff for Ant-Man as well. I think like theaters like that, because it becomes sort of like a collector's item. So people they're trying to get people back in theaters, right? That's the whole push there. That's
sure. I mean, maybe that's part of it. Maybe the reason why there's such a blitz of advertisement is because it's like,
maybe
turn to theaters.
Yeah.
I thought people were, but
I think it's been kind of slow. Yeah.
I don't know. Mario made $1 billion, so I feel like it's been all right.
Billion's not cool anymore, Jesse. It's all about
right. It's billions. right. What a fool I am.
Yeah. Rumor mill. We're back into the Fantastic Forecasting.
Yo, I saw this stuff, dude.
This one comes from a leaker who does have some credibility behind him.
This is gonna be an interesting. This is gonna get people are gonna be like, "Bruh."
I'm kind of for it, and I didn't realize that I was, but it's also a little bit of like who's hot in Hollywood right now, and that's why.
Well, of course.
Yeah. So Daniel Richtman, who has a Patreon, is a relatively well-known scooper, leaker, whatever you want to call it for all this stuff, is saying that Margot Robbie has been offered the role of Sue Storm in the upcoming Fantastic Four film. She's obviously got the big Barbie movie coming out this summer, and so she's going to be the talk of Hollywood. But I'm all right with that. I think Margot Robbie's a fantastic actress.
I think she's been the talk of Hollywood for
a very long time. Yeah,
a few years now. Yeah.
She was in Wolf of Wall Street, and then. What else was she in?
She's been in tons of shit.
Bunch of
Harley
stuff.
Quinn. She's been in tons of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Once upon a time in Hollywood. Like, Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Like,
being
she's the-
said, I'm kind of like a little bit over it, like where I don't necessarily want Harley Quinn to play Sue Storm.
Yeah, that would bother you if it's
Because I think even with what's her face, she can play any race. Wow, completely
What?
forgot her name.
The
Mystique.
redhead.
Are we talking Mystique?
Yes,
No.
yes, Jessie.
Oh,
Yes. What's her name?
I have
don't-
no
Which
idea what
one?
we're talking
It
about.
was black.
are you talking
with
Emma
Scarlett
Stone or are you
Johansson,
talking
redhead? No, Scarlett
Jennifer Lawrence?
Johansson, but it became no, Scarlett Johansson.
Jennifer
Remember there was like
Lawrence?
a meme where people were like, she can play any race because she was playing like everything
Sure.
at one point. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just know her from that meme of like being able to play any race. But it was Scarlett Johansson. Even there was like a time period where I was like, oh, it's like getting to be too much, and like Chris Pratt hit that as well.
Yeah.
It's just
Sure.
like, bro, like you're like in everything. Like I just can't even look at your fucking face right now.
Yeah.
It's starting to get that way for me with Margot Robbie, where it's like I can see her in some roles in the MCU. To me, I don't know about Sue Storm. I don't think that's she doesn't give me Sue Storm energy. And I think it's not just visually like a Photoshop or a look. I think there has to be like
A cadence or
more to it
Yeah.
than that. Yeah. Yeah.
she does kind of play like at least from the films that I've seen her in so far. They are definitely like not outlandish. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. But and not overacted, but embellished. They're very much embellished characters. And Sue Storm, I don't think is that type of character. She's much more like understated in a lot of ways, and also just like kind of grounded. Like she's just a normal. From everything that I know about her,
I
she's
feel
just like a normal
Emily
person.
Blunt could have done it.
Yes, same.
I haven't seen
Personality-wise.
Emily Blunt as a blonde. Yeah, but I feel like personality wise, I definitely think she could have done it.
Yeah, I think that comes down to, does Emily Blunt want, a 5-10 year run as a popular character?
Yeah, I
Probably
don't.
not.
I mean, it's not a bad call. She can act. Like, there's no doubt about that. She can act. It's just
Stop
like
this up. Whoops.
Bronze is absolutely right that there's a like a peak thing that happens where Hollywood gets its teeth into an actor and immediately is like, let's use the shit out of them. And they put them in everything because they're hot.
Yeah.
They're like, they'll bring tickets and we're good. And the thing is, it's the same thing with, in our space gaming, right? When a voice actor's hot, they're in everything.
Yeah.
And it becomes, and at first it's like, this is awesome. And after a while, you're like, I love Jennifer Hale, but there was a time where she was every main character in every video game.
Sure.
And it was like, and it's not her fault. Girl got a paycheck.
That's
It's the fault of the casting people who were like, make the character like Commander Shepard. And you're like, same with like Steve Bloom. And now it's Matt Mercer.
Yep.
And it's like, literally, it's just, and it's not their fault. It's the fact that casting, Hollywood, video games, wherever, sometimes is lazy as shit. And it happens.
Yeah.
And so rather than be like, let's find a new star or let's find someone that could fit Sue Storm, let's go with someone we know will bring tickets.
Right.
And they do that constantly.
Yeah. Yeah. There was, we were talking about last week, the 3 or 4 big names around it. Apparently, Mila Kunis was just straight up asked, like on a red carpet or somewhere. And she was just like, no, I'm not, I'm not playing Sue Storm.
She did do like one of those, like, but I know who is.
Yeah. She's like, I do know who is. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that means they were already offered. A lot of people thought that was referring to Adam Driver, as Reed Richards. The other, there was, I'm trying to find his name. Paul Mescal. Do you guys know who that is? He's apparently the Daniel Rickman is the same person that said Margot Robbie's going to play, but Paul Mescal is supposed to play.
Is he
Human Torch?
Johnny?
Yeah, he's supposed to play Johnny.
Interesting.
He was in After Sun and Normal People, which I did not know.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
also
he's
he's
a good-
also an Oscar nominee, which I didn't know.
Yeah, he's a good actor as well. I honestly, like, here's the thing. Those 3 names you dropped are all good actors. They could do this. I have no problem with that. Do they have any chemistry? No clue. I could not tell you whether on screen Adam Driver is like gonna like that's a loving couple that's gone through some shit. Like, I don't know, but the man can act, so I might believe it. I don't know.
I mean, he was pretty good in that. The last thing I saw Adam Driver in was obviously most people would go to Star Wars, but he was in that movie with ScarJo where they were like a divorced couple.
Marriage Story is great.
Yeah, Marriage Story.
That's
and
a fantastic
he
film.
is, even though it gets memed on a lot when they're like fighting.
I was gonna say, I just know the memes and the one of Scarlett Johansson that people post every time they're tired.
Oh, they're funny. They're
But
funny.
It's like me just trying to live my happy life, and it's ScarJo like with like tears coming down her face.
Yeah.
The only thing you need to know.
Phone. That one's in my phone.
It's good. It's good for sure.
The only thing you need to know about Adam Driver is Adam Driver, without a doubt, is the only person, I'm going to say, in the last 10 years to go on Saturday Night Live and actually work.
Oh, yeah,
that dude, his hour-long bit on Saturday Night Live, I don't think that man cue card looked he was there to work. And I love that about it. It was hilarious, and he was in it, and it was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I fundamentally believe he's a great actor, and he could do this.
I agree.
Do I think he'd be Reed Richards? I'd want to see him as, like, even though it's plain to type, I think he'd be a dope Doom, right? Like, I don't know. He could be all sorts of things. Who knows? Like, again,
I did like
Adam Driver,
him as that oil rigger.
Yeah, the oil
in
baron
that in
SNL.
SNL.
That
The
was the
oil
funniest
baron.
one.
That dude was pretty fucking funny.
He was funny.
that
as shit.
one, and the one where he's at the medieval times.
Yeah.
And he's like, he went to like acting school. It's hilarious.
It's great.
Everything he did on that episode was very, very good. Honestly, I think, sure, the potential's there. That could be fun, but we've never seen Adam Driver and Margot Robbie be like, I love you, dear fellow mutant lady. You know what I mean? Like,
that is a big deal.
we'll
You're not wrong. Like, they have to have chemistry. And I think, you can create chemistry between actors given time and whatnot, but
the
Marvel,
first Fantastic Four films did not do like they were like brother and sister.
Well, I mean, that's a different era completely of Marvel and whatnot. But you're totally right? Like there are 1,000 films. There's endless amounts of films where chemistry was not created. We watched one last week between some characters. So.
And if it's not there, it's so noticeable. And when the core of your movie is 4 people and 2 of them are like, Reed and Sue are the backbone of that structure. Because Johnny's like, I'm wacky.
Yeah.
And, Thing is just like smash, smash, smash. And they have to be. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. We will indeed see. I don't know how that's going to work, but they got to hurry the fuck up because that writer strike is right around the corner.
Yo, that is... It may happen tomorrow, dude.
It might start tomorrow. Yeah. There's the talk of Hollywood right now by the WGA strike. Films,
since
obviously, films at Marvel that could be hit by that: Thunderbolts, Blade, Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four. Of course, the 2 Avengers film, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. The last one I think lasted 100 days, and it killed some very strong shows.
It killed so many shows in the late 2000, late
a massive amount of
2000s.
things. Yeah. For me, the most impacted one that I was a fan of at the time was Friday Night Lights in season 2. That it was just absolute dog shit. And season 3 started by them basically saying like, yeah, that didn't really happen. Like, it kind of happened, but we're just going to forget all of that. Heroes was another big one. That's right.
For me, Heroes and Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh,
it was supposed to be much longer.
Yeah.
And that's why it's the last season just like shows up. Like, they're like, we're going to solve the problem. And it's like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah. Of course, I should state, the consumer in me is obviously, I want these shows to exist, but also I hope the writers get, what they're striking for. It is a just cause. Definitely go look into it if you haven't.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, if you haven't delved
WGA
into
member,
why you guys are striking.
Honestly,
it's fucked.
It's big, dude.
It is.
It isn't just like
it's not just
you can't
films.
work on this or this or this. It is like
Yes.
you can't help a friend write a thing. Like it is wild.
Yeah.
So this is big.
Yeah. And it's not just films.
I'm on the games writing side, but I don't think any of our stuff is
It's hit?
like I've been offered to be in SAG-AFTRA, but never in WGA.
Oh, okay. Well, WGA covers a lot of stuff.
It
Film, TV,
all's it.
not just like produced TV, but like any late shows that you watch, any shows really that are live
Reality TV too. Those all have
reality
writers
TV.
as well.
All that stuff is impacted by this.
And it's not just like script stuff. It's literally like if Bronze, you had a script and you were like, hey, can you look at this? I'd be like, nah, I can't.
Yeah.
Like it's that kind of like it's huge.
It's definitely
it's gonna
a big
put
deal.
the brakes on Hollywood for a while if it goes through.
It is true. Yeah. And it's supposed to potentially begin tomorrow if a failure to reach the deal occurs tonight, Monday, May 1st. So it'll be a big deal. I guess I can't send Jesse any of my scripts. I gotta.
Oh, you don't want that anyway. I'm not good. I'm not a script writer.
I had 8 video games to sell you, Jesse, and you're telling me we're not making any of them now?
None of them.
I gotta get on that Producers Guild. I don't even know how to get it. That's the one where like they go. I'm sure Producers Guild's like,
tour?
come to our
Oh
orgies.
shit!
Oh yeah, I gotta get on that. That's where like the big, like the rich people are. Oh yeah, I want to know what that is. I want to have a PGA after my name. Ooh,
You gotta
sign
do
me
it.
up.
You gotta
Call
do it.
me.
Last bit of news here. Lego's back at it again. They have revealed the X-Men 97's Wolverine look via their toy line of the upcoming model based on X-Men 97.
Do you have it?
Yeah, they've got a high quality look at Wolverine from the upcoming animated show. It looks like this. This is the Lego. Keep in mind.
All right. So first off, I like the one that isn't the actual Lego figure.
Yeah.
That Lego figure looks jank as hell. But the actual like logo is the dude looks cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That thing I do not like at all.
Here's we got a side-by-side shot. This one right here. The left is the old school version, the right is the new version. So pretty comparable, just looks rezzed up.
Stop. My chat's so stupid. They said, and now I can't unsee it. 2 Batmans kissing. I can't unsee it now.
Well, that's always been the case,
stop.
hasn't it? That's always been the case with Wolverine.
I think so.
Yeah, but I never once noticed it, and now that's all I can think of.
Yeah, it always has
I
been.
hate it.
It's always 2 Batmans.
Oh, I hate it.
Yeah, works out.
But he looks like the old one, and I'm fine with that. Like they said, we're gonna do 97, and they didn't change it up all that much. I'm fine with it. It's cool.
Yeah. Should be fine.
He still got the blue claw. I mean, like that's fine by me.
You were talking about how you hope that they don't stick to like the X-Men that we know. I think a lot of that depends on how well this show does in terms of who we get in like the proper MCU down the line.
Yeah.
They've already said
we still
that
have the TV show.
Wolverine, Rogue, Gambit, and quite a few others are going to be in that show. So
I mean, if it's 97, they'll still have all the characters that made it through the end of that series. So
yeah,
should be fine.
I can't believe how long it's like what 5 seasons on Disney Plus, 4 seasons. There's a lot of episodes of it.
But it's like it's quick, right? There's still 20-minute
Yeah,
little like
it goes by
baby
fast.
size
It's
episodes.
like anime. Yeah, it goes by pretty quick. So that's Wolverine. I think he looks fine. It's just a rezzed up version of the other one. That's pretty much it in the world of Marvel.
He looks fine, but that figure looks like shit.
You don't
The
want
figure-
Feel
the
bad for any little kid that
No,
gets
man. That figure.
horrible.
That's like
figure.
skin and bones Wolverine. He does not like that is
Yeah.
he looks emaciated. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Floating pelvis with these weird bony limbs hanging off it.
And then his like flat face is even worse.
It's not
It just doesn't
cute.
look right.
It's bad.
I do have the data revealing the top 10 most popular superhero movies so far of the year.
Of the year?
Of 2023, yeah. Which is kind of weird.
It's May. How many superhero movies came top 10?
Parrot Analytics mapped out the 10, quote, most in-demand superhero movies between January 1st and April 23rd.
Oh, okay. So this
in
is
demand,
just in general, not released this year.
It says in demand refers to the conglomeration of excitement, engagement, and popularity. It is measured with sources such as search engine, wikis, fan and critic rating sites, blogs and microblogging sites, social media platforms, and open streaming platforms, among others.
Okay.
So like Buzz. Yeah, you can kind of like normalize all that to Buzz.
Sure.
Number 10, Shazam. Number 9, Joker. Number 8, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Wait, time out. Did you hear about the news this week with that shit?
Which news? What do we...
Oh, there was a Snyder Con.
Yes.
There was a Zack Snyder Con.
What?
And yeah. And he had like a panel.
Wait, I think we're thinking
and on that
different
panel,
types of news.
He basically said that his plan for the DC universe was that everyone, like Zeus, for instance, they were going to try to explain gods scientifically. So Zeus would have been from Krypton. Hence, Wonder Woman would have been a Kryptonian, which is why she had magic powers. And that's why everyone in the world who has powers is Kryptonian, even if they aren't aware of it.
I saw
some stuff like Ares would have been a Kryptonian, and like that kind of stuff. And yes, exactly. I'm sure everyone right now is like, what? That's so... Yep. So,
Not great.
We might have been saved from a truly messed up future.
Yeah. Bronze, what were you going to bring up regarding the DC stuff?
I think okay, so mine wasn't related who directed the scene, but it's heavy spoiler territory. I've been dodging spoilers like crazy on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, but there is
for Flash?
a scene. No, for the new Guardians movie.
Oh,
there's a fight scene that people are claiming is a lot like a fight scene from a DC movie. And they did a side by side of them. And so there was some talk of like so yeah.
Okay. Well,
interesting.
I'll look out for it then.
Yeah, it was a Superman fight scene, and people were comparing it to a different fight scene from the new Guardians movie, and there was like clips floating around, but it's heavy spoiler territory. So.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it and talk about it next week. Anyways, back to the list. Number 8 was Justice League. 7 is Deadpool. 6 is Avengers Endgame. Still big after all these years. 5 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. 4 is The Batman. 3 was Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, which makes sense. 2 was Spider-Man No Way Home. Still big film. And number 1 was Black Panther Wakanda Forever. That makes a lot of sense. That's probably been the biggest film of the year, I would say.
I would say out of all those, the one I still think about the most is The Batman. I still think about that movie. I like that movie.
It's great. I love that movie. Yeah, I absolutely adore that movie. I'm excited to see the next one. I'm excited to watch the HBO show, the Max show with the Penguin.
Ooh, barf, Max.
Should be good. One last thing. Speaking of DC, then we can wrap and watch Thor. Did you guys see that Flash trailer? Holy, that thing looks great. People saw that movie and said it was great.
Yeah, every single time someone has said that it's actually a really good movie, I've been like, all right, okay. But every single time I see a new trailer, I'm like, is this going to be amazing?
Is this going to be
like,
great?
I don't know, dude. I don't know how I should feel because also Ezra is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he
100%.
He's just getting away with being a piece of shit. And it's wild to me. But at the same time, everyone's like, dude, this movie's amazing. And I'm like, is this movie amazing? I don't No.
Yeah. The trailer was fucking badass. And you could definitely see, I forgot who it was. Maybe it was like Stephen Colbert was trending because he was like, man, that new Batman film looks really good. It's called The Flash. And like, that's kind of how I'm going about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to call it The Flash. I want to see it because of Keaton asking us, if we want to get nuts, because that's a great line from a film that a lot of people these days didn't even know existed because they're too young.
They are just straight dropping. It's the exact same vibe as I'm something of a scientist myself, like it's the exact same vibe. And I'm honestly here for it.
I'm about it. It's
old
good fan
nostalgia
service,
ass in me is like,
yeah,
ooh,
it's good fan service. I'm into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, but everyone, they saw that at CinemaCon, and there are people straight up saying last week when that happened, I think it was on Tuesday, that it's, quote unquote, the best superhero movie ever. That type of shit was coming out of the theater. So I don't know. We'll have to see when it comes out in 2 months.
What's messed up is I still don't bless James Gunn. I still don't understand what the hell. It's like Flash. We're going to do time travel and Flash pointy shit. It's going to be great. And then there's 2 other movies. I still don't understand. It's nonsense to me.
No, there's only one,
get
right?
Ready.
Is Aquaman the only one after the Flash?
Aquaman and Blue Beetle, dude.
Oh, but Blue Beetle I thought was a part of the new thing.
Nope.
The trailer for Blue Beetle was fine.
The trailer's fine. It's just canonically insane that they're like,
Yeah.
we need those 2 movies. They're very important.
I think it's kind of cool though, because I think it allows them to do some crazy shit because they know it's all reset. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In
No,
it
it's
allows them
yeah.
to do something like truly
Dude,
unhinged because
and that's what they're doing.
they're gonna flashpoint it.
Yeah. That's why I'm excited about the DCU for that exact reason, Bronze. Because they can just
Their
say
continuity is so much fun.
Yeah,
'Cause
none of
they've
this
got,
shit
like,
exists.
The Jokerverse.
Yeah.
And the Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn is like it's like a completely separate thing.
Yep.
And then you've got the Batman, which is a completely I like
Aren't those don't they
I don't
refer
think they would all work together.
don't they refer to those as like the elsewhere verse or whatever? And that I think that's what he said.
Yeah, they have a special name for it.
Yeah.
So
But it's like, oh yeah, this
Elseworlds.
version of Lady Gaga and the Joker, it's like its own separate thing, and it's kind of cool because
I
just don't understand.
They suck. We don't have to deal with that in
That
the
thing.
next The Batman movie.
Totally.
I would be mad.
Absolutely.
Maybe Lady Gaga's gonna kill it. She might. I'm not saying she isn't,
she's pretty good.
but
as an
I
actress.
she's a
absolutely
pretty great
think
actress.
she will. Yeah.
But it's also a very different direction. But the cool thing is they have this golden parachute where it's like, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter because they're not obligated to use it in the Batman. They're not obligated to use it in Flashpoint. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You kind of just do whatever you want.
I agree.
It just doesn't make sense on a standpoint of we're gonna do a big Flash movie, which seems to be the obvious reset point of just F it, we can do whatever we want. There's multiple realities, everything's fine. And then it's just and now back under the water with a guy who will never ever be this character again. Also, Blue Beetle, who will not be in the next stuff. It's wait, what?
I think
Unless Blue Beetle does so well that they have to include him.
maybe. Yeah. Didn't they all wasn't there rumors
That's
that
my theory is that Momoa is gonna come back.
well everyone
that
was
was my
saying
He's coming back as a different character. Yeah.
yeah, the theory was that
Yeah.
or rumor, not theory, was that Momoa was gonna come back as Lobo.
Lobo.
I'm here for it.
Which I think
He'd be a good
which
Lobo.
makes sense. Like
Yeah.
he has the look literally perfect.
No, he does.
Just paint his skin super pale white, and you're
I
good
would
to
give him
go.
the corpse
Love
paint
that.
Yeah, corpse
and the
paint.
scar.
Yeah, and he's a badass character. Put him in the Superman world, right?
If they could just pound out some Lobo solo movies, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd be so happy. There's so many stories to tell, and they don't have to be they don't have to sugarcoat it. They can R-rate the hell out of those, and I would show up and be like, "Let's go!"
That's the other thing why I'm excited is because DC doesn't mind going R, and if they do Green Lantern detective shit with R, that'd fucking be fire. That'd be incredible.
Yeah.
They do some real fucked up shit. That'd be great.
Unfortunately, we do have the statistics to show that those movies, I know people don't want to hear it because I like R-rated movies too. Those movies just don't do as well.
They make less, yeah.
So
that's why
yeah,
Deadpool
they
is
don't
such a
make
big
as
deal
much money.
because it made a lot of
Yeah.
money
Yeah.
still.
But Deadpool, they gave them
It's
the
very
creative
rare.
control to tell the stories they wanted to tell, which is why, even though my father hates superhero movies, I've told the story before, say it again, watching X-Men, that dude got up halfway through, like he was fine until they had superhero names. He was like, nah, I'm out. Meanwhile, he's watched both Deadpool movies more times than I can count. That man loves those movies. He thinks
Yeah.
they're hilarious and so much fun. Like, if you let creatives create, sometimes you might get a good product.
Yeah.
You know.
Shocking.
But yeah, that R rating can be a little bit of a killer, and people are even saying it's a big part of why the Super Mario, is it Super Mario Brothers or is it just Mario? I don't know. I'm washed. But it's why that movie's doing so well.
Super Mario movie.
Is like, it's, yeah, if you're gonna go to the movies with your family as an outing type of situation, you're buying 4 tickets instead of 2 or 1. That's the movie right now that everybody's gonna go see. And if it's between that and any other movie, it's gonna be that one. And that's why Marvel can sell so many tickets. Because even though
Actually,
we might sit here and talk about things we didn't like about the Thor movie, some of the people are gonna go on Christmas with their entire family of 14 and go see it, and probably not. It's just something to do, you know?
Yeah.
if they're smart, they'll give Lobo the Peacemaker treatment. Give him
Yeah.
a TV show and if it's on HBO, let him go nuts.
Let them go nuts, yeah.
It's HBO.
Yeah.
Just let him get crazy with it.
Excuse
I would
you.
love that.
It's Max, okay?
It's Max now.
It's Max.
I mean, look how culturally
It's
relevant
the home
The
of
Voice
HBO.
is. And that blew my mind, by the way, when that shit happened, because having read the comic books, I was like, this is going to be niche. It's like Euphoria, but for comic book nerds. Like, this is niche. We'll see how it does. I am so happy with how, like, when I see the Homelander memes all over my timeline in places I wouldn't expect to see it, I love that shit, because I'm like, I love that this show is doing so well.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible to do it, but I think you
Totally.
do have to be uncompromising and just like whoever allowed them to make that show on Amazon, I feel like they went off leash a little bit, because the stuff they do in that show, I'm like, yeah, motherfuckers drinking.
Did you hear them
breast
talking
milk
about
and
next
shit.
season?
Yeah, he was.
They're like, it's going to be even weirder and crazier, and I'm going to do
There's orgies
fucking
and shit.
Homelander's like, I'm going to do shit I've never done before, and it's going to be and I'm
Yeah.
already like,
I know.
what do you mean? You've
Oh.
already done crazy stuff.
I know.
the whatever the character
Motherfuckers
was,
with fucking heels and shit, man. It's
whoever the actor was today said that he filmed the most, like the wildest thing he's ever done before, or something like that
they're
on
gonna
screen.
need
But
therapy
that's-
afterwards. They have some truly unhinged stuff in that show, but
Well,
I
that's
feel
how the
like
comic
you just let
is.
them off the leash.
Yeah.
The
But
comic is
and
actually
that's-
worse.
Oh,
I
it
would say.
is
The comic is
100%.
worse.
And that's
Yeah.
That's the
100%.
brilliance of it, in that they let them off the leash. Same with Peacemaker, is they let them off the leash, but more importantly, the actors 100% buy in. So like,
Yeah.
John Cena is the first episode dancing in his underwear.
Yeah.
Like the buy-in is complete. And if you can, I absolutely know that if Mamoa was playing Lobo, he'd buy in 100% too.
Oh, 100%.
And I know that
yeah.
if you let the creatives do what they want, that movie or TV show or whatever would be so fire, because he would be thrilled to be that guy. Because honestly, it's kind of what The Rock wanted to be in DC. The anti-hero, like,
they let
cool
him
dude.
buy in.
And Momoa just does it
didn't
better.
work. Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah,
But
Momoa
that's-
has the vibe. Like, The Rock has always been like the goody two-shoe guys. Even in wrestling, when he tried to be like evil Rock, nah, he was always like the people's champion.
Yeah.
Momoa has that vibe of a dude who you're just like, yo, I love this dude, but also I'm a little worried this guy's gonna kick my ass. Like, he's cool. I think he would be very good.
Has energy that he doesn't abide by, like everybody else's rules.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I aspire to that level of
Did y'all-
energy. And in general, when I see him conduct himself in public, I'm like, he does not. He lives in his own world. He is not living.
Has
in
Zeke
our
ever told you
world.
the story of Jason Momoa when he was on the Twitch stream with him? You guys ever heard that?
No.
They did a sponsored stream for For Honor. Strippin was there as well. And Jason Momoa was there in studio with them. and Jason, Mr. Momoa, I don't know what the fuck you want to call him. He showed up in
Mr. Momoa.
Mr.
Please,
Momoa,
that's my fuck.
yeah. He showed up on Zeke's channel. It was like in frame with Zeke on his camera, and he was drinking a beer. And Zeke looked at him and he goes, "What the fuck? Where'd you get the beer from?" He goes, "Oh, it's in my rider. Like it's part of, if it has to be beer in my green room." And he goes, "What the fuck? Can I get one?" He's like, "I don't." No, he asked his PA, like the studio PA that they were recording at, and they're like, "No, you can't have a beer. He's special. He can have a beer. You can't." And so Jason heard all that, and he had his assistant go get Zeke a beer from his green room.
And well, it changes the vibe on set instantly.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah. It was a Guinness. That's what it was. Yeah. It's pretty badass. That's all on Twitch somewhere. There's a highlight of that, so you can go watch it. And like Strippin and him hung out. He's a cool guy. He's got that Lobo vibe to him. So that's also why I'm excited for the DC stuff, because Disney would never do any of that, right? Like Disney is Disney, and they know who they serve, and they're gonna make the PG-13
They
films.
have to
and
put it
that's
in a theme park for children. Yeah, they can't get crazy with it.
Yeah, the F-bomb was a big deal, right? In Guardians 3, and that apparently came from a random like outtake, and Feige's saying like, "Oh yeah, James Gunn snuck that by me" or some shit is the line on that. So I don't know. I think they're just testing the waters for Deadpool to see how hard they can go with Deadpool. But
to me, it's like, and this has been my concern with Blade, is I'm just like, if
A
Blade can't
PG-13
say
Blade.
motherfucker, why are we here?
well, they'll
You
make a
know?
joke
It's
out of
like,
that, right?
everyone else is concerned about the violence, and I'm like, I'm not concerned about the violence. I'm concerned about a Blade that can't say motherfucker.
I think it'd
I
be
need
fun.
that.
Does the joke work though, Bronze? If every time Blade goes motherfucker, and then it cuts scenes like for 2 hours, is that funny?
Maybe like one joke, sure.
Yeah.
But the entire time, I'd be like, you know what it would be? It would be one of
It
those
would be
things
the
where it's
final
funny, not
episode.
funny, and then by the end, you're like, it's funny again. Like I
Yeah.
automatically, you would, yeah.
I would see that.
It's Blade has to be violent and bloody and swear filled, but super cool. And you just want to be like, damn, I want to be Blade. Like I want to chop Deacon Frost in half. Like you want that. Like I want that vibe. I want to fight a tornado god.
Oh man, I think you guys are and I shouldn't say you guys. I think we are tainted by the Blade films that we grew up with, because like
There's only one good Blade film. Let's not say otherwise.
the third Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel are.
I think it's just like knowing the source material is as ridiculous as it is. If you don't embrace the camp in like a major way, it's stupid.
From the film or the comics?
Like the comics, like,
Oh, okay.
and in general, like and I think like Wesley Snipes had an appearance on What We Do in the Shadows, and I loved it because it's just like all the actors who play vampires are just there
So
as actual
funny, yeah,
vampires.
yeah.
And he's like on a Zoom. He's like, I don't know how this works. Like, I think I'm on a. You're on a delay, Wesley. Look at him just sitting in the sun, taunting us, and he's like sitting there with like a hat and sunglasses, like with the sun coming in his window, and just like. And to me, I'm like, if you gotta really truly like embody like the kind of ridiculousness of it, otherwise it's just kind of silly.
Yeah.
And even with Eternals, I think they tried to make poetry, and I'm just like, you're Eternals. Like, you know what I mean?
I think that's
Icarus and Gilgamesh. Like, I think, yeah, you can have a serious plot, but I think you also need to have a little bit of that.
Yeah. I felt like
factor.
I felt like Marvel was trying to Oscar bait with Chloe Zhao at the helm for that, to be honest. I felt like they were trying to shoot for the moon.
Oh, that was definitely their prestige piece. Absolutely.
Yeah. They were trying to shoot for the moon with that, and it didn't.
Yeah.
I think they realized like fuck,
Kumail
we can't do that.
Embraced the camp, and I think that's why
he was the most Marvel part of that
really
film.
Worked.
Yes.
Because I think he came into it and he's like, oh yeah, my dad was an actor, my grandfather was an actor, and he's just like the way he delivers those lines, if you delivered them like even kind of seriously or tried to act instead of just like trying to like play into the comedy, it would just be ridiculous. The entire concept is ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, the problem with the Eternals is it's like if you imagine Guardians of the Galaxy, the entire cast, but only Drax plays for comedy and everyone else is super serious. That's what Eternals is. It's all these very serious characters, then one guy who's like, I'm the goofy one. And that does not make a movie.
That's true.
Right? Like everyone's always serious? Nah.
That's true. Well, we watched Eternals last week. You can go catch the VOD for that. This week, we're watching Thor: The Dark World. I'm excited.
Or how Jane got her goo back.
Oh, okay. Let's do some shout outs. We're going to find out
But
if
it
Thor...
is. They pumped Jane full of goo in this one.
They do pump. I mean, she gets a lot of goo.
Jane gets full of goo.
She gets
Red
gooed.
goo.
She gets gooed up. Gooed the fuck up.
And then they have villains that are barely in the movie in an insulting way. Like, how dare you introduce elves and they be like...
But Loki's in the film. Loki's pretty good.
Loki's the best part.
He's pretty good in this film. Yeah. Currently, in our MCU crew worst watch along, Incredible Hulk is the worst movie so far in the MCU.
True.
Eternals is the second worst film. Tonight we find out if, according to our rankers,
Eternals is currently the #1 film in our MCU list.
It's the #1 film in our
Don't say
MCU
that.
rankings. That's
Don't
another way to
say
put it.
It's true.
that.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Don't say
The glass
that.
is half
no,
full,
it's the
or
second
half-
worst. It's
half
the
full.
second worst.
Correct.
You go to
On our list, there's only two.
mcucrew.com/rankings if you want to see where our rankings are. You can also submit your own, and they'll get aggregated in our community list. 29 is Thor: The Dark World. We're watching it tonight. We're going to do some shout outs if you're watching live on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find that VOD, I think, on all of our channels for the watch along. We'll have a timer on screen. You can just sync up. Should be a doozy. We won't be doing another film next week because Guardians 3 will be out. We'll be reviewing that. So no watch along.
We'll put it on the list, though.
Yeah. After the, we will put it on the list. After that, though, I think we're back to the watch along, and we will be going to the first Thor, which sits at 28. So we're going.
I love that Thor 1 and 2 are just back to back letdowns.
Should be fun. Let's not delay it any further. Let's do some shout outs and get out of here in terms of the VOD, and then we could start Thor: The Dark World. Bronze, what do you got going on? Where can people check you out?
Hi, hello. I'm that bronze girl. I'm very excited to watch Thor and to watch goo fillery. You can find me here on my channel, on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Patreon, even at that bronze girl. I do a show called Bagged and Boarded where I talk about comic books and other movies outside of the MCU. And this week I'm playing Resident Evil 4 Remake since I'm finally getting around to playing it. I was at PAX East when it came out, and so now I'm finally playing through it. Love it so far. So yeah, check me out and support me on all the things. If this my behavior here hasn't turned you off of me.
That's a great, we really should. Jesse, do some shout outs. Oh.
Hi, I'm Jesse. You might know me from the MCU crew, but also I do other things as well. I'm over on YouTube. I'm here on Twitch. Jesse Cox, you can look me up. And if you want to find out more about me, head over to jessecox.com. Everything's there, from podcasts to fun stuff to all the things I'm sure you'll love. Now I'm going to go back to this fake conversation over here. See you next time.
We're getting out of here. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stick around if you're watching live on Twitch. We're going to be checking out Thor: The Dark World and getting all gooped up with Natalie Portman right after this. We'll see you guys then.